Hello folks, welcome to the electric car lease deals of the month for August 2024. These are not all in stock, some will be factory orders. If you're looking for petrol, diesel, hybrid, all that kind of stuff, you need to look at the other video, so just go to my channel and you'll find it right there. But this one's just electrics. 3 months up front, 3-year deals on 10,000 miles a year is what we're looking at here. There's a link to Lease Loco, which I'd love you to press because that really helps support the channel. And this video is sponsored by ALA Insurance, where if you use the code JIM10, you can get 10% off. Let's crack on. So we're starting things off with this Nissan Leaf, and this is a mental price. It's under 200 quid a month and less than 600 quid up front. 581 up front and 193 a month. 168 miles of range, 150 brake horsepower, insurance group 24 and 435 litres of boot space. Let's have a deeper dive on the pricing on this. The average has been £272 a month. At its peak, 336. At its lowest point, about a tenner less than it is right now, and that was a week ago. This is a brilliant price. It's in stock. It is slightly old tech now in the Leaf, but if you're mostly charging from home and mostly doing under 100 miles a day, this thing will serve you very, very well. And look at that price, 193 quid a month with less than 600 quid up front. That's not to be sniffed at. Next, we've got the Mazda MX30. This is a really low price for one of these. Average has been 355, at its peak 378. And this is pretty much its lowest price. It's been 50p a month less than this. But this is pretty much its lowest price. 124 miles of range, which is the big question mark you're going to have on this one. It is very low range. However, if you're only doing local journeys, do you care? It's got the suicide doors at the back there, so it opens up with no pillar in the middle. 350 litres of boot space, insurance group 19, 145 horsepower, and 0 to 62 in 9.7 seconds. 355 on average, 239 right now with an upfront payment of 717 quid. Not a bad deal if you can live with that range. If you want a bit more range, you've got the Perso E208 Allure. This one's 50 kilowatt hour, 434 litres of boot space, 0 to 62 in 9.1 seconds. 211 miles of range, 136 brake horsepower, 756 up front and 252 a month. Let's look at the price history on this. 487 has been the average on that. It's currently 252. That is the lowest point we've seen it in the last 12 months. Well, certainly since January when these numbers started. At its peak, it was £808 a month. I can't imagine anyone paid 800 quid for one of these, but that was the price during sort of the tail end of January, start of February. Currently 252 a month with 756 up front. Cool looking little car. Does the job. If you want that sort of compact SUV, then this will serve you very, very well. 211 miles of range is not going to blow anyone away, but it's not too shabby, is it? And then you've got a sort of cousin of that car, really, the Citroen EC4. 221 miles of range, 136 horsepower, 380 litres of boot space, insurance group 23, 864 up front and 288 a month. There have been some great deals on these, and then they went away for a period, and now they've come back, and they're looking better than ever, to be honest. 558 has been the average on it. At its peak, 724. This is the lowest price we've seen it in a year. It's £288.23 a month with 864 up front. Great price. Folks, if you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Still something like 80% of people that watch them are not subscribed. It's completely free, won't cost you a penny, and it really helps me out. So please take 2 seconds to do that, and of course to give the video a thumbs up. Volkswagen ID3 is next, 330 quid a month with 991 up front. This is the Pro spec, 266 miles of range, 385 litres of boot space, 204 horsepower, 0 to 62 in 7.4. Average on that one's been £450 a month. At its peak, 523. Currently 330 with 991 up front, and it's in stock, so getting quick. Now, the sort of cousin of that car, or more like brother or sister really, is the Cupra Born. Essentially the same car, but it looks quite a lot funkier. This is the V1. It's 337 a month with a grand up front, 264 miles of range, 204 horsepower, 385 litres of boot space, insurance group 25. 372 has been the average on that. At its peak 484, currently 337. Hyundai Ionic 5 SE Connect. This one's the smaller battery version, but you've still got 238 miles of range, 527 litres of boot space, insurance group 29, 8.5 seconds 0 to 60 on it, £345 a month with just over a grand up front. The peak on this was £796, which you can see only happened for minutes really, but this time last year it was £564 a month. This is the lowest price we've seen it in a year, £345. Average has been 447, so it's £100 a month less than the average and well under half of what it was at its peak. It looks like a decent bit of value, a grand up front, £345 a month. Folks, as I said at the start of this video, this one is sponsored by ALA Insurance. If you want to buy any kind of products from ALA, gap insurance, tyre and alloy wheel insurance, maybe a warranty if you've got yourself a used car or you're in the final year of your lease car and actually the manufacturer's warranty has run out, all those things are available to you. If you input the code GYM10, you'll get 10% off any price you see on the site. I've got massive faith in ALA. I've got gap insurance with them. I've got a warranty with them on my Say It Me. Lovely people. They don't have commission salespeople on the phone. They've got people there to serve you. So you can buy online or you can call 01653 916 304 and check out ALA Insurance right now. The Honda ENY1 is next. This is the elegant spec, 368 a month and 1100 up front. That gets you 256 miles of range, 204 brake horsepower, 361 litres of boot space, insurance group 39. 0 to 62 is 7.6 seconds. Average on it's been £517 a month. At its peak, it was £841 a month. Currently 368. It hasn't had amazing reviews, but people have been reviewing it, obviously full price, and at the moment it's far from that. And not too long ago, we were looking at these, sort of regularly seeing these well over £500 a month. And at over £500 a month, you know, it's got some really stiff competition. At 368 a month, there's not quite as much competition, so it might make a bit more sense. So there you go, the little electric Honda SUV, 1100 up front, 368 a month. Nissan ARA Advance E-Force Auto, £380 a month with 1142 up front. This is a stunning deal. However, I've been told by someone that watches the videos that every time he calls up about this and speaks to one particular broker that comes up top of this, they tell him that they've only got a different paint option available from the advertised price and it's like £50 a month more. If they do that, ask them why they keep advertising a price for a vehicle they haven't got, and then please report it to Lease Loco. The more people that report when this happens, the better, folks. So this could be available, or it might be £50 more. I don't really know. £380 a month with 1142 up front, 319 miles of range, 306 brake horsepower, 408 litres of boot space, and 0 to 62 in 5.6 seconds. £697 a month at its peak. At its lowest point, 371. Currently 380, nearly 381. Brilliant car, the Aria. That's a fantastic price. I mean, if you can get one for that price, value for money wise, it's as good as anything on here. It really is, because it's an exceptionally good car. Hyundai Ionic 6 Premium Automatic, 77 kilowatt hour, £452 a month with 1358 up front. This has got that super fast charging. It's on 800 volt architecture, 10 to 80% in 18 minutes on a 350 kilowatt charger. And it's astounding the way these things charge. Trust me, I've done it. And they are rapid, ultra rapid. 339 miles of range, insurance group 36, 228 brake horsepower, 7.4 seconds to 62. Average on this one, it's been £507 a month. At its peak, it was £648 a month. It did get as low as £349 at one point, but as you can see, not for very long. But most of the year, you can see a very gradual sort of downward trajectory on the price. But it's been around about 550 quid for a lot of the year, then dropped down to sort of 500-ish, and now we're in the land of sort of the 450s. It's a fantastic car. It's a brilliant car, flies under a lot of people's radar. The design of it is somewhat Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it. I happen to love it. I think it's a lovely thing to drive, and I'd happily have one. ID7 is next. This is the Match Pro, £468 a month, 382 miles of range, 532 litres of boot space, insurance group 38, and 286 brake horsepower, 1400 up front and 468 a month. Think of this as basically an electric VW Passat, because it basically is that. Tons of room in this, like acres of room, and with that sort of extended range that the car's got, it is designed to be that motorway mile muncher to sort of replace the Passat. A grand up front at its peak, this one, a grand. Currently, 468 a month, on average 586. These have only been out since sort of end of January, or available to order since end of January. But that looks really great value at the moment. This one is a factory order, so you would have a bit of a wait if you ordered it, so keep that in mind. Ford Explorer's next. The price is nothing amazing on this, to be honest, but still really new to the market. So I'm just showing you the car because it's new to the market, really. 1,454 up front and 484 a month, 374 miles of range, 450 litres of boot space, 286 horsepower, and 0-62 in 6.4. 500 a month has been the average. It's currently 484. It is in stock, so that's another good reason to include it in the video. If you want to get your hands on one of these, you can do so quickly. And although it's only been out for a couple of months, this is the lowest price we've seen one so far. Polestar 2, long range. I've just had one of these on the drive, had one of these in for a week for review. The video is up and live. I'll link to it at the end of this video. 406 miles of range, 405 litres of boot space, insurance group 41, and 299 brake horsepower. 1,500 quid up front, 500 quid a month. Really simple as that. So 800 at its peak, 677 on average, currently 500 with 1,500 up front. It's a lovely car. If you like Volvo and that kind of build quality and that kind of feel, you're in the right place for this. Obviously, Polestar started as a Volvo company. They're still part of the same group, and you can certainly still feel a lot of similarities between the two brands. But it's a lovely thing, so go and check out my review video. It's not a perfect car, so find out the imperfections in that video. Next is the Ford Mustang Mach-E Select 70 kilowatt hour rear wheel drive, £504 a month with 1,513 up front. 0-62 on this one, 6.9 seconds, 273 miles of range. That's the smaller battery in the Mustang Mach-E. 269 brake horsepower. 37 is the insurance group. Average on this one's been £613. At its peak, 636. And at its lowest point, it was not even a tenner less than it is now. 504 a month with 1,500 up front, and it's in stock. VW ID7 Tor. So we've already seen the ID7. But the Tor is quite a lot more. It's a much bigger car, but just think about, actually, would the saloon do you? 468 a month versus 519. This one's got 373 miles of range, 605 litres of boot space, 286 horsepower, and is insurance group 38. So it's got a tiny bit less in terms of range than the saloon, but obviously that's because it's a bigger car. Price history on it, 572 has been the average on it. At its peak, 637, currently 519 with 1,500 up front. Genesis GV70 is next, the Sport, all-wheel drive. We've spoken about these enough in the past, but this is a really great price. 283 miles. Again, it's on that 800-volt architecture. Genesis is a Hyundai brand, if you didn't know. 18 minutes, 10 to 80% on it. 503 litres of boot space, insurance group 50, 1,821 up front, and £607 a month. Average on it's been 775. At its peak, nearly 1,100 quid. It's a very premium car. At its lowest point, 582. And that 582 came and went extremely rapidly. So yeah, it's a fantastic, fantastic car. Literally one of my favourite cars that I've ever had in for review. It's that blooming good. And in terms of the quality of everything, it puts a hell of a lot of German stuff to shame. believe me. Speaking of German stuff, the BMW i5 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙄𝙇𝙄𝑚 Sport 84 kilowatt hour automatic, 352 miles of range, 490 litres of boot space, insurance group 43, 340 brake horsepower, 717 quid a month with 2,151 up front. Average on it's been 822, at its peak 1,106, at its lowest point 593, which was an exceptional price. But at the moment we're looking at 717 quid, which compared to where this thing is normally priced is a hell of a good deal. Up front on it's 2,151 and 717 per month. Folks, the Lotus deals are back. Factory orders. There are 3 different trim levels available and the price varies accordingly. You've got standard, S and R. Lease Loco says that the best value one at the moment is the S, so we'll have a look at that. So that's 3,300 up front and 1,100 a month. It's a lot of money. It's mortgage money, but if you're watching this, possibly that's not a problem for you. £1,610 a month has been the average on it. At its peak, it was 1,900 quid a month. At its lowest point, that came about a month ago, it was 800 quid a month. Just shows what a great deal that was now. But as you can see, for the longest time, this thing was well over 1,700 quid. They had a little spell there where it was like nearly 1,600 quid. But for most of the year, it's been north of 1,100 quid a month. So that 1,610 a month is very accurate. Currently 1,100 a month. So if you compare that to where it's been, it's a hell of a deal if you're into this kind of car and cars at this kind of price. It's a big monstrous thing with a ton of road presence. And I know quite a few of you that watch the channel have managed to get your hands on one. You lucky devils. Thanks for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up. I know I've already mentioned it, but subscriptions help me along the way, and not enough of you are subscribed. Doesn't cost you a thing, and it takes you a second. The link to Lease Loco's in the video description, and it's pinned as a top comment, as is my link to ALA. That will automatically apply the discount for you. If not, just go to ala.co.uk. Find your product that you want to quote for and just input the promo code GYM10. That's all one word, GYM10, and you'll get 10% off the price. Thanks ever so much for watching, folks. I'll see you on the next one.